Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenmara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer your elemental energy reading for December of 2025 for the elemental energy of air. Air covers the zodiac signs of Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So if you are Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or have air high up in your charts, then this message is for you. And if you've never had your charts read before, there's a link in the description down below to a basic birth chart. It gives you the base 12 houses with all the little signs and symbols, and then there is about 10 to 20 pages, depending on what you've got going on there, of a description of what all that means and how it applies, things like that. And it's a good basic one to get started with. There's also a small section there for elemental alignment. So with that, we'll get started with your reading. And air, I cast the hexagram before the video, so you ended up with number 14, and its title is Great Possessions. He who possesses much, supreme success. So air, this starting off just from the base text there, because it's literally that one sentence, we're looking at a great deal of prosperity for you. Things are definitely moving in the right direction, and it's really saying that the things that you have are what lead to your success. So let's take a peek here. We'll break it down line by line. So our bottom line here, our foundation, having no contact with evil, he is blameless. Therefore, even if he's involved in trouble, he remains without fault. So really what we're saying is, you definitely want to make sure you're sticking to that righteous persistence path, that morals, ethics, your core values of who you are. And as long as you're sticking to those, it really doesn't matter if something pops up around you, because it's not going to stick to you. So that's really good success, actually. Your second line, there are large supply wagons. If there is some desired goal or destination, setting out to attain it will involve no error. So they have a footnote on the supply wagons. Let's see what we have here. Where to go? It's pretty simply stated that there are large supply wagons, meaning you've got all the resources you need. Think of the magician in the tarot. It's saying you have all the skills, the talents, the resources, finances, time, location, whatever it is. Everything is available to you. So now if you have a desired goal or destination, something that you're working towards, air, you can go ahead and do that. There's no error in this, because you already have literally everything you need to move forward with this. So you're actually, energy-wise, you're looking really nice. Our third place line is, a prince may win rewards from his emperor, but this is beyond an ordinary man's power. So to get the attention of the higher ups, you need to be in a position where you're in their awareness. You're, as like this says, if you're a peasant, so to speak, you're not going to get the CEO's attention. That's just not how it works. But if you happen to be in upper management or even middle management, the CEO is going to be attainable for you. And what it's saying is, the prince may win rewards from the emperor, but it's beyond an ordinary man's power. You're never going to go beyond where your range is. You can always go beyond. Once you achieve the end of your range, you can move beyond that. But where you're standing right now, what's the highest aspect that you can achieve? Shoot for that. Because once you attain it, that window shifts, and then you can attain even better things. But you have to start somewhere, and that's where they're saying here. So your fourth place line, pride is not involved, no error. This is going back to the concept of the core values, morals, ethics. Pride and ego, interchangeable in a lot of ways, because pride is saying, I'm better than everyone else. I don't need anyone's help. Same thing the ego says, really. And so you want to make sure that those things are kept in check. You know what? I've achieved what I have through my own hard work and dedication, but also through the support of others. So as I'm going forward, I still need to remember that I can reach out to people. It's okay to say, I don't know. That way you can continue to get better and then continue to grow, and pride tends to stay out of the picture at that point. So our fifth place line, the only broken one in your pattern here, his sense of confidence enables him to be sociable and well respected. A dignified bearing is an asset, which is good fortune. So a dignified bearing is a form of good fortune. Your confidence. Now, self-confidence does not mean arrogance, ego, or pride. Self-confidence is, no, I actually have done the things to achieve this. I know where I stand. I know what I know. I also know that I don't know everything else. But with confidence, I can step forward and say, this is where I'm at, this is where I'm going to go, and this is what I'm willing to learn to get to that point. So when we look at it from that perspective, a dignified bearing, that means you're being respectful in how you interact with others. It's not saying, well, I'm better than that person, so I don't have to be nice to them. Be nice to the janitor as much as the CEO. Actually, be nicer to the janitor. But you don't have to be better than someone else. The dignified bearing is being respectful for the position that you carry, but also being respectful to those who are below or above you as well. So you really are, air, stepping into a very interesting energy, but for air, this is very intellectual, pretty logical as far as that goes. So this is not going to be a super difficult month is what I'm getting here. So our capstone: those under heaven's protection enjoy good fortune and success in everything. When we look at the term heaven's protection or the divine aspects in the I-ching, what we're really hearing is these are the cosmic rules. These are not, well, this religion says, or this person says. Heaven's protection means when we walk in alignment with our core selves, with our ethics and our morals, in alignment with God, Source, Divine, however you see that, it changes how everything lays out. Heaven works with you when you work with heaven. And that's what they're saying, is this divine aspect, this supernatural all, if you want to call it, the conscious existence of life. Those are the things that will work with you and protect you as long as you stay in alignment with your core values. Don't compromise your ethics and morals just because of a job, of a person, of a situation. If you compromise those, you step out of alignment, and that's where the issues will step forward. But air, it looks like you have an amazing month ahead of you, sticking to those core values. With that, we'll hop over to our cards. There's about 5 weeks in December, so we'll do 5 sets. Each week we look at a guide or guardian, a message from source, which is a positive reassurance or an affirmation, and then we'll get a little more clarity from the tarot. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video, comment, let me know your thoughts, feelings, and impressions. And if you see something different in the cards, feel free intuitively to put that down there if you're comfortable with that. It's always interesting to hear what other people's opinions are of the cards used, so yeah, feel free. With that, we'll get started with your first week's guide or guardian, and it's Archangel. It's Angel Raziel, and your stone is Pierre de Sight, which is Storm Wisdom. So this is kind of an interesting card. I am one with, I'll read it for you. You are one with the storm of creative divine chaos that precedes the birth of new realities. You are cleansed and cleared of what has been. You open with a wild heart to what must be for the soul to thrive and love to grow. With faith in spirit and your soul, you willingly enter into the process of transformation. Goodness and healing shall come from what is happening in your life. You trust in the divine beauty destined for you. This energy is really saying, it may appear to the outside world, with you stepping into your assurance and your confidence, that everything's kind of being chaotic. You already see the bigger picture here, air, so you don't need to hear their nonsense. That's their business. Because you already know that where you're going is heading in the right direction. It may feel chaotic to some people, but your soul sees the bigger picture. Your soul sees the bigger plan. So that chaos is actually clearing things out. Think of a tornado whirling around, but it's only taking the bad stuff out. And that's the energy that's coming forward this first week. And that's what the Pierre de Sight and Raziel are bringing up, is we're going to help you do some cleaning. It may look chaotic to other people, but you already know what's happening, so it's not that big of a deal for you. Your message from source is the throat chakra, expressing your truth. Throat chakra is one of the chakras associated with air because it's communication, one of air's skills. So this is really focusing on you this month or this week. This chakra is the origin of expression, air. It is the source of life that sparks the inspiration to your aliveness and stokes the creative fire in others. This is the outer sharing of your inner being, the glowing song of your soul, on the winds of your flight to understanding more of who and what you are. Connect to the crux of your potential and take it further than you have ever imagined. Just like with the I-ching, we'll finish the card. It talks about achieve as much as you can, and once you've achieved that, go for the next level. So you're in that beautiful state. As spirit fuses into the tangible, it actualizes a platform for greater and greater experiences, and new facets are sculpted, seeded, and shared in a fractal light in the form of your own unique language. So, Air, you are definitely moving in the right direction, and this month, just from the first week so far, this month is going to be about you. You've embraced who you are, but now it's time to share that with the world. And it doesn't have to be like broadcasting it on the internet or broadcasting it on TV or radio. It's really about just stepping into your authenticity and allowing the universe to share your soul. Let the universe share your light. You're just holding the light. You're bringing it in, you're expanding it, and the universe will take care of the rest. Your message from the tarot is the Queen of Swords. Still with air energy. This week is really reminding you that you are in control here. But the Queen of Swords, you're getting into the divine feminine aspect of air. And there's this energy of completion. There's also this energy of authority. So you've got this concept coming in that you're the one in charge of your existence, with Raziel Pierre de Site talking about you're the one that's standing at the beautiful quiet center of the chaos storm, clearing everything out. And with the throat chakra, you're the one communicating from the inner world to the outer. The Queen of Swords is saying, now you understand why you've had to go through the things you've went through. Up to this point, and they're saying it could be as much as the last 2 to 3 years even, Air, you've been dealing with things. General reading, take what works. You've been dealing with things that have led you to this point where now you can actually step out in confidence. You know who you are, you know where you're going, and you know what you expect out of life. And if things don't line up, that's fine, you'll adjust as need be, but this is where your power comes. So this first week is really just reminding you to step into your power and authority because you've earned it. So your second week, starting off with a bang here, is the goddess Maya, and the stone is ruby aura quartz. I'm not sure if that's a real natural stone. They've got a lot of cool new stones they're coming out with anymore, but it's fusions between different things, so still powerful, just a little different. The title of this card is called the Searing Presence, and it starts off with I am present. That's a good way to start a day as well. You witness the truth that frees your heart and emboldens your mind with trust, inspiration, and determination. With courage and willingness, you see what you need to see when you need to see it. You ground yourself in this moment where all answers, grace, and healing reside. You access deeper truths that set you free. You perceive through the clear and loving spiritual cycle within. You are divinity unfolding, and all is well. This is really a call to tap into that inner spark, the divine cosmic breath, the star seed within, the stardust that we all possess, whatever term you want to use there. It's your connection to God Source Divine. And this week is your call to embrace that. Really step into that. Your first week was remembering who you were and how far you've come and why you have the ability now to do what you're doing. This second week is saying, but don't forget to connect. Don't forget to reach out to God Source Divine. Just like with the I-ching, it talks about the prince getting rewards from the emperor, and the common person can't do that, but you have to work up to where that can be, which is part of this. But the other aspect here is you're able to expand. You have all the gifts, talents, skills that you need, so why worry about the details? They're going to work themselves out. You're working on the big picture here, so work with that and notice how things tend to fall into place. So your second week's message from Source is Balanced Focus. This is kind of a fun card. We have the Lemurian people are said to have been androgynous, a perfect balance between masculine and feminine energies as it is defined in the physical. This card invites you to look at the masculine and feminine energies from a more balanced perspective. What needs to happen to form a more holistic and equalized foundation for more masculine drive and focus? Concentrate on such goals, desires, and ambitions. If you want to engage more with feminine energy, find receptivity, trust, flow, and surrender. Consider all things that you're already grateful for, which is a great message anyway. Feel the warmth, gratitude, and comfort of knowing everything is divinely perfect just the way it is. When we talk about the energies of the masculine and the feminine, and you'll notice this in today's world, there is a huge split between this two. And it's so out of balance that there's not a way to correct it from an outside perspective. The only way to fix the balance of masculine and feminine is within ourselves, within our personal relationships. And masculine energy means a bit more aggressive, a bit more projective, a bit more authoritarian leadership type stuff. In its healthy form, those are ways to take care of, protect, and grow. In its negative form, they become dictatorial and very hostile. With the receptivity of the feminine, it's about taking care, nurturing, supporting, being the fire behind the forge type thing. In its negative side, it steps into this, to use the term some of my married friends say, it's the nagging aspect. It's the nothing's ever good enough aspect. So when we look at it from the perspective of what's healthy in ourselves, we all carry masculine and feminine energy. That's just how it is. I have known very, very masculine men who are out there working on cars and cutting down trees and working concrete that have this romantic poet in them that you're like, where'd that come from? And I know a lot of women who can go out there and work heavy equipment and come home and take care of the babies. Like, don't assume one person's the way they show up in the world in one aspect is who they are. It's because it's not. When we accept our own balance of feminine and masculine within ourselves, we know that we can be this person or we can step into this energy. And finding that inner balance is the key. Air, you are one of the energies that carry a scale with you. I believe it is, I think it's Libra is one of the scales. But you are the one who literally holds everything in this cosmic balance. And this is saying to tap into that energy. Even if you don't have the scales in your charts, that doesn't mean you don't have access to it. It just means it may not be the most comfortable thing for you to work with. But when we understand the interplay between the masculine and feminine, think of the yin-yang symbol, the circle with the two dots and the two different colors. When it's in harmony, when it's in balance, everything flows. And you have to find that balance for yourself. It's not going to be written some cosmic thing in the sky, or it's not going to be written in some book somewhere. This is where you have to understand yourself. And Air, you have all the tools you need to do this, and probably a good portion of you already have. And that's the beauty of this energy, is it's the reminder that when things are in balance, everything tends to go better. Your message from the tarot is the Seven of Chalices. Dreaming is good, but daydreaming too much is going to become a problem. This is, it's kind of this concept of getting too prideful in what you've achieved. I'm also getting this image from the I-ching and from this one, that when pride enters, everything else tends to fall away because you're not able to hold what you've achieved because you have this new thing that's trying to distract you. So this is really about knowing, kind of a heads up. It's not so much a warning, it's more of a heads up. Yes, you're stepping into your authority. Yes, you're stepping into your confidence. You know who you are. Don't get distracted by the shiny thing of everyone's just fawning over you because you've done so much, and your ego's like puffing up like, oh yeah, I did all this. You did, but you had help, and you didn't know there's no such thing as doing something in a vacuum. So don't let the ego and pride get in the way in the second week, because it's definitely working you into a power position. It could be leadership, it could be proposing, it could be whatever. But your ego's kind of sitting over there like, can I get a hold of that? Don't let the ego have its way. Your third week's message or guide or guardian is Archangel Melchizedek. I personally see Melchizedek as an ascended master, not an angel, especially with the history that you look into him on. Anyway, and the stone is selenite, which is basically solid light. It's a beautiful stone. Your message is called Divine Perfection. You bow to the higher will unfolding in all things at all times. You feel peace growing in your heart and mind. You move closer to the divine heart of the universe, where there is only love and grace, encouragement and respect. There are so many healing blessings for you now. You let go of what has been with serenity, and you unconditionally trust in the goodness of what is unfolding now. This third week is saying you've stepped back in, you've reminded yourself the first 2 weeks basically reconnecting. This third week is now that you have done all of the inner and outer work, look at how things have shifted for you. It's no longer as simple as, well, I have to do all these things to get to this point, or I have to do all this other stuff. The universe is like, settle down. It's already there. And when you really understand the concept of light, it's a wave. There's nothing physical to it. And it's saying when you get into that flow state and you stay focused on the images and plans ahead, everything else tends to fall into place and you don't have to struggle. And the I-ching talks about how it's just basically things are keep going and going and going, and everything keeps moving further and further and further in the right direction. And with the Melchizedek and Selenite, it's saying even the negative you transform. Melchizedek, in some research that I've done, talks about him being an alchemist. They don't use that term, a transformative person, I think is what they said. But it's basically you're taking something that's base and dross like lead, and you're turning it into gold. That's what you have done with your life. This week is where you start to understand, well, if I do that inside, I bet I can do that outside too. As within, so without. So you are definitely in this creative energy, and you just had to be reminded of that the first couple of weeks. So your message from Source is loving compassion. This is such an interesting card to stare at. Bring more love to a situation, whether it is towards yourself or someone connected to the question at hand. There may be a need for forgiveness or for seeing things from a fresh, more expansive perspective. Remember, you are loved and have unlimited access to the gentle yet transformative forces of loving compassion as when you need it. To bring yourself back into your heart, think about those you love and moments with them where you have felt true joy. Expand this feeling out to more and more people, creatures, and places until the whole planet is infused with this beautiful, warm, loving feeling. You've done a lot of the inner work. You're ready to start showing it, and this is the call from the universe to step into that state. And when it says to expand it, one of the exercises that I've done over the years is you focus on that joy, whatever color it shows up as, and you feel it deep in your heart or in your sacral chakra. Those are the two that usually show up for me anyway. And then you start expanding it until it infuses your entire body. Then you infuse it out to your auric field, and then you expand it out to the house you're sitting in. Then you keep expanding it to the block you're on, the city you're in, to the state, to the country. And you just, as you exhale, you push it further out. As you inhale, you hold it. So each time you inhale, you're pushing it out, and when you exhale, you just start holding it in place, and eventually you'll surround the whole world. And you hold that visualization as long as you can. And then as it starts to fade, you pull yourself back together. But when you do that, it allows you to actually share your light in a much more complete way. It's not always the most easy thing, because sometimes you'll get distracted by an energy that comes in off the side, but most of the time when you do it, you come back to yourself and you're in this quiet now state where everything else just kind of fades. You don't need to worry about the day-to-day because you already know you've put the energy and effort forward, so it doesn't need to be a problem anymore, which is great. Your message from the tarot is the Two of Pentacles. There's a little bit of coyness coming in here with some side project. There also could be a little bit of something where you want to kind of spend frivolously, because Pentacles is hearth, home, finances, family, and so you have a little bit of this like coyness going on. And the message they're saying is it's okay to have a day where you pick up a couple of new things or whatever, but don't make it a habit. Don't let this, you're doing so well, prosperous, abundant, success, all these things, don't let it slide because you want to compete with the Joneses down the street. That's just not that's not a benefit for you or anyone else, really. And that's what they're wanting to say here. It's just, it's okay to get something new every so often, but don't do it just because you're competing with the neighbors. That's very much not a good thing. So our fourth week's guide or guardian, you have got a lot of powerful angels coming in right now. Archangel Metatron, who is one of the seraphim, and the stone is clear quartz, and your card's called Power, which fits. You embrace the opportunity to explore a healthy relationship with personal power. This supports your spiritual journey to fulfill your destiny for the benefit of all beings. You choose to express your power in a way that is respectful, merciful, and kind towards yourself and all other beings. You utilize your growing power to awaken your boldness and confidence. You recognize the inevitability of your divine fulfillment. Air, as long as you put your foot on the divine path, holding to your morals and ethics and your core values, as long as you keep your connection to God's source divine strong, it's kind of interesting how you don't have to worry about the details anymore. Things just take care of themselves. It's also talking about when you do that, even if you're in a position of authority or power, it's no longer a ego-driven thing. Because in reality, if we really break down what the terms, the concepts, not terms, the concepts of being a manager is, it's you're a servant. I don't care how lowly that other person might be, you still answer and have to take care of them. So in a way, you're a servant. And if you work in a big corporation, you're the servant to your employees, you're the servant to those above you. When you're in a management position, the first thing you have to understand is your values, your desires, and this is how we're going to do it, tend to fade because you have to work with other people. That is not fun. But it is one of those things where, you're going to excel in this. With Metatron coming in, this is an ascended energy. So it's saying when you understand where power lies and how to wield it correctly, your ability to continue to ascend through the structure is going to become limitless. Just like with I-ching, you have to move your way up as far as you can see at the moment. Once you've achieved that, then all of a sudden you can see further, and you keep moving up. That's that prince to the emperor, pauper to the prince energy. So that's what they're bringing forward here. So your message from source is communication and co-creation. Again, working with air energy. And this card actually has a really cool emblem because it looks like there's a bunch of air in it. We normally think of information as something that can be written or spoken, but if something is multidimensional, it is almost impossible to share it with words. How are you communicating beyond words? Something may be getting lost in translation. An issue may be cleared through improved communication. Listen carefully to what someone has to say without interruption. Furthermore, it may feel scary to share vulnerable truths, but this may only be the way forward. This may be the only way forward, This card also encourages greater exploration in the realms of telepathy, healing, and arts such as poetry, painting, and music, where there is a collective communication beyond mind and words. When you look at this image, it's not talking about spoken communication. And air, you know this better than probably any other element. Communication is facial expressions. It's body language. How is someone standing? Are their arms crossed? Are their arms down? Legs crossed? How are they coming across? Air picks up on a lot of this stuff. Not quite the intuitive level that water will, but out of the other elements, this is air's kind of their area of expertise. Telepathy, being able to understand things without really studying them, because air understands communication. And they're wanting you to say, don't forget your other skills. You have a lot of skills that do not fall into the physical world because they're multidimensional or interdimensional or whatever term you want. But that's where your gifts and skills are setting as well. Don't forget those, because they're going to come in handy leading you to your success, or maybe even after you've achieved your success. So you have a lot of water showing up in your tarot here. You have the Three of Chalices for your message from the tarot. And this one is really saying, enjoy some downtime, have fun with friends. There's nothing about life is all about being super serious and working all the time. Some people have a little harder time with that than others. But the Three of Chalices is saying it's okay to have fun. It's okay to have that romance. It's okay to take time to really enjoy life. There's a lot of different ways to interpret the Three of Chalices, but what I'm seeing with this one is, this is your call to take some self-care. Do that thing with your partner. Go out on a date. Go get a motel room for the weekend. Drop the kids off at grandma's house or whatever. But don't forget to have the downtime. Success is not just about finances. It's not just about how hard you work. It's also about those around you. The people who smile when you walk into a room, the people who want to be in your presence and in your company, and you want to be in theirs. And that's this energy that's coming forward here, is just reminding you to really step into that other side of what it means to be successful. So let's take a peek here at our 4th week's guide or guardian. What's a stone? Angel Yahael and Labradorite. Labradorite. I have the stone even, and I can't say it correctly. The message is individuality. Good grief. You delight in being you. You embrace your quirks and eccentricities. When you truly are yourself, you come from a place of self-love that allows others to receive and love you as well. As you discover and express your inner self, you step fully into your life path and fulfill your higher purpose. As you love and honor your real and true nature, you listen to your intuition and give priority to what matters most to your soul. This is a call for unity. As you've been going through this month, you have remembered, or just maybe had that little tap on the shoulder, hey, you've got this. And that's the energy of the first couple of weeks. The middle of the week is saying, you've done the inner work. You've transformed so much in your life. Now it's time to transform the world around you. Allow that light to shine out, work with the angels and God's source divine to allow that to express itself in ways of healthy, healing, positive communication. And now in the 5th week, it's now saying, you've done all of this work. You've got the inner, the outer, the upper, the lower, the positive, the negative, the masculine, the feminine. Now it's time to unite all aspects of yourself. So in this last week, it's kind of that time to pull everything together. Whether it's going and spending time with your family, the whole group of them, whether it is having a little post-Christmas party with the crew, if you're working, whatever it is, this is that time for coming together, celebration, and really appreciating and showing gratitude for everything that you've achieved, everything everyone has helped you with, and everything that you guys are working on in the future. Your message from Source ties in almost perfectly with this. It's called home. Our way home to oneness and the truest part of our infinite selves is to know ourselves beyond the socialized matrix of mind-controlled reality. That's a sentence and a half. When all sense of flighty survival drops away, a deep sigh radiates from the safe space within, where you can ground dreams into reality. Deep-hearted, heart-based presence is a direct portal to home. Align with your temple space. You have dreams, visions, and may yearn for etheric realms, but it is when we are fully present in our bodies that we can actualize these ideas and make a difference. Be grounded, find your home, the deepest part of your roots, and the higher we can reach into the heavens, the higher we can go. This ties the I-ching together. This brings it all into one alignment where everything that you've done up to this point has brought you to this period of success where you can take that breath. You see the results of the hard work. You see the results of everyone's help and guidance. And you're at peace. By the end of December, you're going to feel a sense of peace that you may not have felt in a while. And that's going to be very refreshing because it's going to let you have that deep breath, that sigh. You don't have to worry anymore. Why? Because it's already been taken care of. Everything's been handled. Your message from the tarot is number 7 of Wands. Wands are fire, creation, and passion. This is really saying you've achieved a great deal, and you have actually stepped beyond where you thought you could. The passions of your life, working with fire and wands here, have led you to this point. Are you done? No. But are you in a good spot? Oh yeah. You've achieved a great deal, and I'm really getting this feeling that you have set yourself up for greater and greater successes. And with the fire energy of wands coming forward, it's time to look beyond where you've achieved. What's next? Where are you headed? Because you've achieved this so much going forward here, and in this last week you're able to take that breath because you've accomplished it. You've achieved success. And now the 7 of Wands is just asking that question. Okay, you've done what you've done. Where are you headed next? What kind of passion project are you going to work on? You've had your success, and it could be just taking and reinvesting yourself in your business, if that's what it is, reinvesting yourself in your family, if that's what it is, but it's tying passion to it, so it's a driving force. You've got to this point, you're taking a break, but what's going to drive you forward? What's going to keep you motivated and moving? So, with that being said, I'll wrap this reading up. Thank you guys and gals for showing up. I will see you in the next video and have a great month of December.